Your body's going to get rid of it. You just got to get your body in shape. It's almost like losing weight. You start exercising, you lose weight, right? You know, it's like somebody saying, you're fat. Oh, no, I'm going to die. No, I'm fat. I got to lose weight. I got to change how I'm eating. I got to exercise. I got to get in shape, right? So cancer in your immune system, your immune system has two functions, okay? Maintenance, okay? So it does cleaning and repair, which is maintenance. And then it's defense. Say you get a cut and there's an invading organism, so there's defense. So that it maintains the health of your body and it defends your body. So when your body is so busy with trying to deal with the maintenance, it can get overwhelmed. You know, that's where the smoking can affect you. And you know, somebody who smokes and drinks and has a lot of bad habits, it can overwhelm the body with these maintenance requirements trying to keep up with it, okay? So then you start losing, you've got nothing left for defense, and when cancer starts to form, your body can't kill it because there's just nothing left. You're wearing out your immune system. So the development of infections, when somebody starts getting infections really easy, when somebody starts developing degenerative issues in their bodies, even heart disease, when they start getting diabetes, these disease processes, your body's not keeping up with the maintenance. These are all warning signs that you're actually a real big risk for cancer because your immune system's not keeping up with it. Does that make sense? Okay. So, Mythbusters, is cancer genetic? Who here thinks cancer is genetic? It's how many, you know, it's your uncle, your dad, your mom? No, right? Good. I'm glad to see that because it's 5% of all cancers are considered to be genetic. 100% is influenced by lifestyle. Even if you have the genetic factors, you don't necessarily have to have cancer. It's only 5% of it that's genetic. Well, that's pretty good news. That means, you know, hey, if somebody told me you have 95% control over something, is that good news? Yeah. I mean, you have 95% control over whether or not you get cancer. 95%. That's huge. So what are we going to do about it? What do we need to do for the control? Cancer is not caused by bad luck, okay, by the genes, right? It's not caused by bad luck. And it's not caused by an accident. I guess occasionally it could be. You fall into a radioactive nuclear waste plant, you know, that's a bad accident, right? I mean, it could be, okay? But it's usually not, okay? And it's not bad genes. So it's not bad luck, it's not an accident, it's not bad genes, it's not I was dealt a bad hand of cards, right? These are the five, well, it's because what we talked about, creating that bad environment. So there's 5 treatments for cancer in medicine. This is what cancer does. They do chemotherapy, radiation, surgery, drugs, and transplantation. So did you get cancer because you lacked chemotherapy or radiation, or you had one too many parts, right? Or you're just a little low on drugs today, I gotta get my fix, right? Or you need, hey, I just need to trade out this organ, right? I need to change it out. That's what the problem is. Is that what gave you cancer? As a matter of fact, the top 3 things, well, the top 3 things on here, actually 4, these cause cancer. Chemotherapy drugs are carcinogens. They're toxic. They're nasty. They cause cancer. Radiation. Isn't that what we're supposed to try to avoid? You're not even supposed to get a sunburn, you know, because it causes cancer. And then you've got surgery. Well, I've got some information about that too, on how surgery actually causes this metastatic spread of cancers and actually causes them to go from benign to malignant. And drugs, well, drugs are more toxins. And transplantations, well, they have to give you immunosuppressant drugs if they give you a transplant. So if they're crushing your immune system, then you're wide open for cancer. So their treatments cause cancer. It's pretty scary stuff. The history of chemotherapy, it started with mustard gas. Do you guys know about this? So what happened was they found these guys who had gotten exposed to mustard gas during the war, and when they brought them back, they were still alive, but they all died. Eventually they died. And what they found out was that the mustard gas, it was so toxic in their body, it was killing rapidly growing cells. That these guys, their hair would fall out, their gums would bleed, their skin would start getting all kinds of sores and rashes. And they said, wow, and they realized rather quickly that it was attacking the rapidly growing cells. And then somebody said, well, you know, hey, cancer's a rapidly growing cell. We got it. We'll just get them mustard gas, just not enough to kill the person. You know, but we're going to poison them right to the edge of death, and hopefully, because cancer's a rapidly growing thing, it'll kill the cancer. Well, cancers like toxic environments. It doesn't always kill them. It kills some of them. And, not all cancers are rapid growing. So there's only a few that are rapid growing. So it really has not been an effective way of treating cancer. So here's some of the side effects of chemotherapy. How do you like that? Deafness, destroys your skin, heart damage, brain damage, neurological damage, bleeding, secondary cancers. Because it's toxic, it causes others. It destroys your immune system, causes blindness, impotence, loss of taste. I mean, kind of like if you had all these things, would you want to keep living? When we talk about the quality of life, that's pretty important now. That's another issue, but it is something to consider, and something that they don't address when they say, hey, I'm going to give you this, and it's going to destroy the quality of your life. Do you want it? And because it's going to give you maybe a 20% chance of living another year. I mean, if they actually laid out the stats the way they really were, right, you'd probably say no, and that's why they don't. But look at these things. This is pretty. Stroke, suicide, weight loss, poisoning, death. 100% of chemotherapy is considered poisonous. This is a hand that got chemo spilled on it. They spilled some of the chemo on this lady's hand. Look at the damage it did. That's how toxic chemotherapy is. Can you see that? I don't know if the slide's producing it well, but there's this big rash with this white scaly thing on there, just from spilling some of it on there. I happen to know several pharmacists. I've actually got quite a few as patients. And I asked them one time, I said, if a vial of chemotherapy medication breaks in your shop, what happens? He goes, that can't happen. I go, what do you mean? Because they wrap it, they re-wrap it, they bubble wrap it, they bubble wrap the bubble wrap, they wrap that. He goes, it just can't happen. I go, well, suppose it does happen. Suppose somebody stupidly opens up the whole thing, takes out and goes, hey, what's this? Check it out, Joe. And it breaks on the floor. Because we have to evacuate the building and call a hazmat team. They're not allowed to go near it. They actually have to call a hazmat team, lock down the doors, and wait for them to come in and clean it up in the white suits. And this is the stuff they're injecting in people's body. That's pretty scary. So, the side effects of radiation. Well, you guys probably know, I mean, the burns and the damage and the joint, there's a lot of problems, infertility, joint problems, lymph problems, mouth problems, secondary cancers, and this is from the National Cancer Institute. I mean, this isn't me saying this, this is it. This is what they're listing is, yeah, this is what's going to happen. Surgery. A growing body of evidence suggests that cancer surgery, it actually increases the chance of it spreading, to other areas. And the mechanism basically is your body encapsulates things. When you have a growth like a cancer, your body wraps it in a capsule, fibrous capsule, to contain it. Okay, because your body's really smart. And when they do the surgery, they cut that open, and those cells leak out. Some of this, there's no way that they cannot leak. I mean, there's no way for them to really contain it. So they leak out. The other thing it does is it increases the blood supply. That's that angiogenesis over here. It increases the blood supply to the area, and it actually turns the cancer, for some reason, goes from being benign to metastatic. It actually, the increased blood flow and the damage to the tissue, it actually kicks it into high gear, and the cancer goes from benign to malignant. So you take a benign lump, you cut it out, you think you're doing the good thing, and you actually created now a metastatic, cancer that's malignant. So you went from a benign tumor to a metastatic malignant cancer, and it spreads throughout the body. And that's the research. I was really shocked by that one, because I was always of the belief that if I had a tumor, I wouldn't do chemo, I wouldn't do radiation, but I would let them cut it out. And I read the research, I was like, wow, even cutting it out is dangerous. Geez, so what are you going to do, right? So what are the causes of cancer? See, the best cure for cancer is not to get it. Right? You guys get that? It's just don't get it. That's the best cure, right? Never get sick to begin with. So the causes for cancer are stress, any kind of stress, emotional stress, physical stress, chemical stress, okay? Poor nutrition, poor fitness, toxicity, and subluxation. Now, honestly, this makes sense to you, right? Everybody knows that stress is really terrible for your body.